One.
Fighting games are going through a bit of a news drought between the Game Awards and Christmas. And this is a bad spot. Nobody wants to fit in this spot, you know?
Yes. But regardless, this is still the last fighting games are of the year. So
That
we have to talk
is
about
true.
something.
Well, no, but there's no better time to talk about 2022 in hindsight for fighting games, of course.
Yes, that is true. So I suppose let's hit the small news that we have, and then we'll
Yeah.
proceed some way. So, I believe we've discussed this last time, but Street Fighter 6 had the pre-order trailer release. Characters were shown off. That's about it. World Tour.
Eh.
And yeah,
Did
that's
we
it.
get to?
Yeah, go ahead.
This is the first. Oh no, we had the post game awards. Fighting games are, didn't we?
Yes, we delayed game or we delayed the Game Awards. Yes, we delayed the fighting games are for the Game Awards.
Yeah. Okay, so that we don't have anything to say about the World Tour stuff or Marissa or Manon.
I mean,
They've
we
revealed some
didn't.
stuff, and I feel like
Yeah,
they've revealed a bunch of stuff that we've missed on other, channels.
yeah, maybe.
Like they've shown enough that Manon is based around normals that pull the opponent in for grabs. They've shown enough that we know Marissa is a character who's all about armor and armor breaking.
And I saw reports of JP being a beast, but that's all I heard.
JP, I saw his thing is he can set little nodes in the air, and he can either choose to teleport to those nodes, or he can choose to make them like hit the opponent.
Venom balls.
Right?
I see. That explains the cane.
Well, not really. No, I'm trying to think of like. Oh, there's a character who is similar to it, but he sets them up forward in the air a little bit, and they're above head height for everyone who is an Abigail. And it's very similar to a character I'm trying to think of. And he can either teleport to it for a mid-air like teleport, so he can already do a jump in. Come to think of it, I want to say it's pretty similar to. Okay, so there's a. Did you ever get to practice with Shin Hisako in Killer Instinct 2013?
Probably, but I don't remember. Like
Okay, so
I definitely played and trained with Shin Hisako. I don't remember exactly her whole kit.
she had a ability where she would set a little flying soul that was slightly above and to the forward of her opponent's head, and she could either choose to like I guess reabsorb it for more. I forget, it was like something more meter or something, or she could teleport to it for an immediate jump in, an instant jump in. Imagine if they had that, but it didn't track the opponent, and you could also make it shoot out a little projectile.
That sounds like Doctor Strange. He had those relays.
Doctor Strange probably does have that as well.
He had those relays that he could shoot for projectiles and then also teleport to them, I think.
I don't remember him having the ability to teleport to anything, but yeah.
But he definitely had the ability to teleport in general. I don't remember if it was relay based or otherwise. It might have been otherwise.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, the new characters are in the game. Oh,
I
yeah,
gotta say, well, JP's not necessarily my style. Both Marissa and Manon sound very appealing.
yeah. I don't like moveset wise. I don't care about the new characters thus far because it's like, all right, cool. You know, it's who could I even point at from Street Fighter 5? Shit. Because none of the new guys, particularly like the G, but you know, the G's Q, I don't think he counts. Zeku, I liked Zeku's. I liked half of Zeku's moveset. But like the Bushinri girl, I don't whose name I'm forgetting, even though she's like the Ken of this game. She's like she's Bushin Ryu. That pretty much explains why I don't find her interesting. Because otherwise she could be, but she also has to be tied to Guy. and
Yeah.
and the parts of Zeku at this time were also Guy. So
Huh.
Jamie is a wild card. I don't know how I feel about Jamie yet, even though I've seen them in action. Uh, and these characters, like Grab City, the character who I'm always forgetting which one that is. the other one, Abel, not Fem Abel, and
Yeah.
like T-Hawk's cousin, maybe. Have they even showed her off?
They have not shown her off yet. No, her and Geef have both been have not been shown yet.
But yeah, she's also gonna be T-Hawk, but more visually interesting. I'm assuming. So
Yeah.
and like JP has a design that I found interesting, but I'm not a good set play character. I'm not a good set play character. He might be, but I'm not. No, but I'm not really a set play player. So like
I mean,
yeah, go ahead.
no, you go ahead. I think this is more you.
But yeah, like I can work with set play and I can work with grabs, but I usually find them more useful when they're not the focus of the kit. They're just there as tools. So like if a character has set play but also has other stuff, then I can do set play. It's just that when set play is the only thing I'm supposed to play around, that's when I'm shot.
Heh.
And similarly with grabs, like I can play command grab characters fine, but I find them more fun when it's like, all right, so I can do combo into grab. That's why I like Waldstein in uni, because Waldstein is like, all right, so I can do a big like 13 hit combo. I can also grab you at the end of it, and the damage will be like minimal, but still it's stylish.
Heh.
and the input for the grab is 720. Cool.
720s are way easier to do if you can buffer them from other moves.
Yeah, that's
Always.
true. But yeah, I think that's all we can really talk about Street Fighter 6, because like they've shown off stuff, but not enough for us to really like dive into it, you know.
Yeah.
Then King of Fighters All Star will have a crossover with Soul Calibur 6.
Why are we talking about a mobile game?
It's King of Fighters.
Yes, but it's also a mobile game.
I don't know. The powers that be deemed that KOF All Star is worthy of being discussed, I guess.
No, it isn't. Next topic.
All right. Dance Fighting Herds added the bull.
I saw that. I didn't know that they were going outside of the ponies.
Well, that's the thing. There's like a pony in the game, and the rest of the characters are just other like four-legged hooved animals, and also a dragon, I guess.
Oh, the dragon can have hooves. It's not necessarily doesn't have to be biologically accurate to real world dragons.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
excuse
yeah,
me.
like most of the like, most of the characters allegedly aren't ponies. They're just in the pony style, because it started out an MLP fighting game. So
And My Little Pony fans are always creeps, and wouldn't you know it?
Mike Z, yeah, wouldn't you know it, Mike
Yeah.
Z. But yeah, So that's gonna be a thing. Also, to coincide with this, Them's Fighting Curds is allegedly free on Epic Game Store for the next 24 hours. So this news is fucking. This news is useless. Alright, cool. I've only just seen that it's for 24 hours. It took me like 4 sources to find that it's 24 hours. Because the other is well kind enough to omit that part.
Well, I mean, it's also Epic Game Store, so blah.
Yeah. But yeah, and that's all of our news, I believe, because it's like, you know, Yomi Hustle got renamed. Do you even know what the fuck Yomi Hustle is?
No.
Exactly. Yomi Hustle is a turn-based indie fighting game.
Oh, is it the board game?
I don't know. I think it's a video game that's card-based and a fighting game, or you know, however that works. I don't think it's the board game.
Right, then I'm lost.
But yeah, basically all I understand is Yomi Hustle is a turn-based fighting game. It came out. They got cease and desisted by some guy who allegedly owns the word Yomi, even though it's a Japanese word. and
Of course.
they had to change the name, so they changed it to an acronym that still spells out Yomi, because fuck that guy. Like it's not that, but it's the fucking the new name is something like you only move in increments. Hustle.
That's pretty great.
And yeah, I believe that's all of the news.
All
So,
right.
do you want to do you want to hit the topics, or do you want to talk about the past year for fighting games first?
Let's hit the topics just so I can wake up more.
All right. So, first topic. I'm just gonna read you the title of this post. Trading modes are overrated. By whom?
By whom and in what ways?
Yeah.
Please don't clickbait. Clickbait is stinky. Don't
Yeah.
do it.
So I'm gonna read out the meat of this post. Comprehensive. I fuck up the first word. Nice. Comprehensive
Amazing.
trading modes get praise for things that have no reason to be visible during actual matches. Why do counters and gold crushes have HUD elements for them when frame advantage doesn't? It's so arbitrary. It could be as simple as showing a slash symbol and a number to denote frame advantage. If the rules of the game are so well communicated, then actual matches will be the most authentic and useful learning situation. So basically, this person's suggestion is, you know how people light up when in Street Fighter V's training mode that they say Street Fighter 5 doesn't have?
What? He's saying training mode bad because frame data is not available in regular play matches, which is a interesting leap in logic, I suppose. Well, first of all, there are some fighting games nowadays that do frame advantage in the matches. I definitely know Fantasy Strike does it, but I want to say there was one other game. I can't recall which one though, where the hit sparks, the color tells you whether what you've hit was positive or negative.
The guy, the guy, yeah, the guy, you know the guy. No, the game that the Cannon brothers made before Project L. That's the game you're thinking of, I think. Lightning something.
Oh, yeah, that game was really interesting and didn't go anywhere because it was being published by Riot.
Yes.
And they were just decided, ah, fuck it, let's put some League of Legends on this shit.
Yes. That game that had the sparks, I think.
Yeah, you're probably right. That does sound like something they do. But there is that, and on top of that, he's saying the only reason people ever go into training mode is to check the frame data on things, which is, first of all, outright impossible in loads of games that have training modes. Because, I mean, or well, I shouldn't say that, because you can figure out, okay, what's the quickest move in the game? I'll program the AI to do it on block. But, like, there is, of course, more than that. Like, not to just sit here and like list off, oh, these are all the things you can do with training mode, but like practicing combos, just generally testing out your character moves, testing out the character's moves in an environment where you don't have to worry about the other guy fighting back, and the list goes on. Of course, this is clown shoes stuff. So I mean, blah.
Yeah, like for my part, like I think that people saying training mode fixes everything in fighting games are also like wrong, because it's the two ends of the spectrum. It's like training mode is useless and training mode is God. I think both of them are wrong. Because you need to have live fire testing for your combos and your punishes and your shit. Like if you go, okay, I've spent 50 million hours in the lab. I know that this one move should be able to punish that move, and it doesn't. Then what do? Like you need to somehow test that knowledge sometimes. So relying solely on training mode is dumb. But also, you need to get to the point where you're like, all right, I have an inkling that this works, so I can test it in a live fire situation. And the only way to get there is training mode.
Yeah.
Like I noticed listening back to these podcasts, because I have to. I noticed that a lot of times I just reiterate what you say pretty much with just more words, but sometimes you need to. So sometimes you need stuff, and not necessarily the listeners, but sometimes people need stuff explained to them multiple times in different manners, because information is hard to process sometimes, regardless of how like supposedly brain that it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was the first topic. Oh, here's some news that I forgot. Harada confirms playable Jun Kazama. Like we didn't expect that.
Yeah, she's in the trailer.
Yeah, but people asked Harada if she was playable still, and he was like, "Why would I put her in the trailer if she's not playable, y'all?" Which is fair.
Of course.
Like,
I mean,
if you think about it, somehow it makes sense, huh?
I mean, the thing is, there are people who are Jun mains, and they get to play 3 games.
Yeah.
And could you imagine if they, see the Tekken 8 trailer, and Jun's right there, and then it's like, no, Jun's just there as a cutscene model.
John is an NPC in the new Devil Within mode, and nothing more. They made her model just so she's an NPC in Devil Within.
That, on the other hand, sounds like something that could actually happen.
People would be so salty.
Fuck, I'd be salty.
Yeah. It's one of those things that, like, if after that there's like a I don't know, like a $2 DLC that unlocks her, and otherwise you can just get her by beating Devil Within, then it's better. Like, But if she's just not playable at all, or if she's a full price DLC, and then that's the only way to get her, then that is a dick move, or that would be a dick move. But yeah,
Oh boy.
then let's see. All right, this will be an interesting topic, possibly.
Possible.
So, in your opinion, what's the worst fighting game roster you've ever seen? Now, I will add that to this. Like,
Ooh.
I will add to this that I think we should not just count who's on the roster, but also how they're presented. So if the basically what I'm saying is
Well, yeah.
Capcom Fighting Gem viable.
Oh, cat. Yeah. I mean, well, the worst fighting game roster is Street Fighter One.
I
You get two
mean,
characters. They both suck, and they're identical. Eat shit.
no, but Street Fighter One's roster is good because it's perfectly balanced, as all things should be.
I mean, what?
Not only that, but you also have Sagat. You have what's his face? You have Gan.
You have 10 NPCs,
Yeah,
but they don't count because they're NPCs. You know, it's the
you have Eagle. You love Eagle.
Street Fighter One. Honestly, anytime you're saying worst blank in fighting games, Street Fighter One needs to be disqualified because it is, without a doubt, the worst in every category.
Worst franchise started.
Like, holy shit. Other than Street Fighter One, like if we were to, okay, let's say what's the worst fighting game roster that's on a good fighting game?
Yeah, let's say what's the worst fighting game roster on a series that's supposed to be good. I think that's the
Well, then you're still Street Fighter is a good series. Street Fighter One
shit.
is a terrible game,
You're right.
so I can still say Street Fighter One.
Yeah, you are right. You are right.
Let's see. I almost feel like we could go on a series by series basis because you know, Street Fighter, for instance, if we were to disqualify Street Fighter One, I feel like that's a hard one to hit.
Street Fighter
I
4.
don't want to take Street Fighter 4 got Street Fighter
FWFT
4's got
Rufus.
the yeah, they're terrible new characters, but the returning roster is good. I mean, I probably could have stood to see more Street Fighter 3 representatives, but that's the same for every Street Fighter after Street Fighter 3. Am I still here?
Yeah, you are.
Okay, okay. I'm really not used to this internet actually staying connected the whole time. I keep having to worry in the back of my mind that oh, it's going to give out at some point. It
Yeah.
can't be that good. Excuse me.
But yeah. I mean, I could go with my joke answer.
What's that?
Any Killer Instinct.
That's I would disagree, but if I had to pick which one is your least favorite, I would definitely say for you at the very least it's Killer Instinct. Yeah.
No, I think genuinely my least favorite would be fucking Clay Fighter.
Clay Fighter, yeah, Clay Fighter's not a winner. No, it isn't.
But it is fucking.
Oh,
But it is like, I think it's a fairly telling thing when talking about opinions, at least with these games. When that I think of fucking Tattoo Assassins, and I'm like, well, Tattoo Assassins at least had the guy who fired fire out of his dick, the Scottish guy, like,
yeah.
at least he's interesting. He's a good character, quote unquote good. I'd rather see him in a game again than most of Killer Instinct or anyone from fucking Clay Fighter.
Okay. Mortal Kombat 4. Not Mortal Kombat Gold, Mortal Kombat 4.
I mean, I'd say Gold still counts. Some of that
Gold
roster,
at least Gold at least adds a few classics like Melina.
I guess, but then like whenever I think of Gold, all I remember is Baraka. And boy,
Oh god, stapled Baraka.
yeah, exactly.
That was an interesting choice to be certain.
Yeah.
Oh, there's got to be a KOF out there that's got like, what's the worst KOF roster, and why is it 13?
I feel like there's another that had like that had less. 12. 12.
At 12, yeah, 12 was probably worse. 12 was just in general a broken game, though, wasn't it?
But 12 was a proof of concept for their rotoscoping thing they did with 3D, pretty much.
Yeah, which they wound up abandoning after the next game, anyways.
Yeah, because it cost too much. Who'da thunk?
Yeah. Huh.
But yeah, I also feel like there was one that's like sort of the 2000s, like 2001 or something like that, that had like next to no characters and it was generally just jank.
Couldn't have been 2000 or 2001 because that's when they had four member teams, and you wouldn't want a small roster with four member teams.
Yeah, I don't remember then which way it would have been. But I remember that there's one at the start of the 2000s that people don't like.
Yeah. Huh. Oh, Soul Calibur 5.
Yes. I liked
That's
Zwei.
a bad one.
I liked Zwei, but that's about it.
That's a really bad one.
Yeah.
Yikes.
With Street Fighter, EX1, not Plus Alpha, just straight up vanilla EX1.
That's a solid answer as well, yeah.
Because Plus Alpha added Akuma and like someone else, I forget. Like it added a couple characters and balance changes and stuff like that, so it was better.
Yeah. You know, I'm tempted to say SVC Chaos just because of some of those weird choices they made, like Mars people.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'd be alone on that one.
I don't mind the SVC Chaos roster, but then I also don't generally think of SVC Chaos, so
I don't think about you at all.
yeah.
I'm sad that meme reaction has gone away in the last few years. I feel like that was one of the best ones to come out of a TV show.
Yeah.
All
Tekken.
right. Tekken, I feel like that one actually kind of doesn't work. Tekken's roster just kind of expands with each sequel.
Yeah. Like so sometimes they change off a couple characters, like there's no Bagdo-san or Wang anymore, but generally they're dead.
Yeah.
And there's replacements.
Well, unless Back is back in the grave, he's not dead. He's just
Retired.
taking a break, I guess, while Wrong handles all the Taekwondo duties.
But yeah, like I can't really think of Tekken Revolution, I guess, is the closest you'll get to a bad roster. Just an overall bad roster for Tekken.
I don't even know what the roster that game had. Oh, fuck.
Eliza. I rest my case.
Hey, you know?
Like it's either Tekken 6 or Revolution. Funnily enough, the two games following each other because they introduced fucking Alisa and Lars and Eliza respectively. Revolution also had the weird thing that it was a free to play game, and I don't remember how they did like the monetization. I don't know how they did the characters.
I have avoided every bit of information I can about it and the free to play Soul Calibur, other than the free to play Soul Calibur had Kratos and the pieces to make Dante.
The free to pay. That's
Hell yeah.
That's when I want to start calling just normally priced games free to pay. You are free to pay. But yeah.
Yeah, I guess, like, as long as we're including bad games, I'd say Street Fighter 1 is even worse than Clay Fighter. As long as we're restricting it to good games, I'm going to say either KOF 12 or... I don't know, can I say MK4 is a good game? I can say it's a relevant game, but...
Yeah, I don't know if I'd count it as a good game. As someone who played a lot of it. Well, relatively.
Yeah.
We're also forgetting
The
Marvel
Marvel. Well, I don't think there was ever a bad Marvel roster.
Infinite.
I mean, that just doesn't feel fair. I mean, it's. I mean, I don't like that the Fox characters were the X-Men and Fantastic Four characters were removed at all. But I mean, it's still got a decent roster, you know.
I don't know. It's mostly just military people from both sides.
Uh, was it? Because I
I
know
mean,
Chris is there, but
I feel like both Chris and Jill were there. I don't remember if Wesker
uh,
was.
Jill was
No, Jill.
DLC, I
No,
believe.
Jill was DLC for 3. So they wouldn't have had her in Infinite because we don't have a classic Jill, and they wouldn't have had a reason to put in like Resident Evil 5 Jill.
Jill's not in Infinite at all if she's not DLC. I can tell you she's not on the launch
Yeah,
roster.
that's what I'm saying. I don't think she was in the Infinite then.
Wesker wasn't either. Chris was the only. Chris and Nemesis were the only Resident Evil representatives on the roster.
And then Marvel had not Captain America DLC, but still.
Bucky. Yeah, I guess there's Bucky and Widow, but I mean, I count them as spies, not military. Splitting hairs, I know, but
Yeah, you see the reason that they couldn't fit in Akuma is because Ryu already uses Ansat scan. You can have more Shotos.
eh.
But like that's the thing. Like Zero and X play completely differently because you see Zero has a sword.
They do play very differently, actually.
I mean, I know. I play Zero.
I played X.
Uh, but yeah, like it's
Let's just
the
move on to
Capcom
the next
side.
topic. I
Yeah,
think we've hit just about every point we can here.
pretty much. So let me see. All right, this is a this might be over fast, but it might be a fun topic. What is your favorite super?
Ooh, I have never sat down and thought about that. Let's see. Any variation of the Raging Demon is a classic.
Yeah, I was about to say hard mode, no raging demon, like because that's like
Uh,
the raging demon is like just the raging demon is the best KOF super, pretty much when you think about it.
any var any variation of Zangief, Hyperatomic Buster, Super Atomic Buster, that whole deal. Like in terms of just visuals, we're just sticking to visuals here.
Yeah,
It's a simple one, but I love Captain America Stars and Stripes, which is just a Shoryu Reppa, but it's Captain America though, and he
yeah.
shouts "Stars and Stripes" when he does it, which makes it great. Aww. Heavenly Pop Buster, but not in Exard.
Yeah.
Because the
Uh,
Heavenly Pop Buster in Exard is he just flips. Whereas in X2, it's cool because he stands on the ceiling for a second, even on stages where that makes no sense. And in Strive, it's cool because he goes to heaven and is among the Buddhas for a second, the Bodhisattvas.
yeah.
Ooh, let's see. What are the other big winners? You know, Ride the Lightning, I want to put up there for Key, but it's mostly because the name is so cool.
Yeah. Yeah,
And it's a
ride the
Metallica
lightning.
reference.
Yeah, ride the lightning has never particularly looked interesting, but it has a cool name.
And it feels cool to use.
Sometimes, although
Yeah,
I still have yet to figure out how you trigger it to go both ways. It's been 12 years.
it's a mystery to everyone.
Yeah,
Raging Storm, of course. I mean, the input alone, pulling it off every time, makes you feel like, oh yes, I'm the best at fighting games.
I don't know. I feel like if we're talking geese supers, then I like Deadly Rave better because I can't fucking do it.
I've never done Deadly Rave either.
But like the Deadly Rave,
I,
yeah, go ahead.
I've never done Deadly Rave with geese or with rock.
Yeah, and like Deadly Rave, when even like it doesn't look as interesting as Raging Storm, but I think it ends in Raging Storm too, depending on the game.
Yeah, I think depending on the game. And also if it's like a super variant of the Deadly Rave, because some of the
The
Chaos games
Deadliest
have
Rave.
like 3 tiers of super.
Yeah.
Oh, of course, Buster Wolf.
All right, I'm gonna say something controversial. I don't like how Buster Wolf looks, but I like Terry's shouting, so that's why I like the move.
Terry shouting is a big part of the move, but I do like that it's like he hits them and it takes a second for it to connect.
That is cool. It's just for me, like the thing is that like depending on the game, like some games have it cool where he like shoots out a fucking screen wide energy beam pretty much. But other games it's just like, all right, so you do the burning knuckle, but this time there's geysers. Cool.
Speaking of punch supers, Galactica Phantom.
I guess.
All three of Dudley's supers in Street Fighter 3. Jet Upper maybe a little bit less, but I love both Corkscrew. I love both Corkscrew Blow. Yeah, Corkscrew Blow and Rolling Thunder. I love both. It sucks that Rolling Thunder is the blatantly worst super, so I can never use it.
Yeah. I use Rolling Thunder because I don't give a shit. It's cool.
I do too most days. G's super in Street Fighter 5. Light it up. That one's
Oh
great.
yeah, that one's great. I will never forget the one time. I don't think I even have it on recording, but I did like a 75% combo on Goku playing Street Fighter 5, where I did some G shit and I ended it in his super. It was the hypest shit. I think
Yeah,
Goku put down his controller after that, which is fine. Understandable.
it's funny how just having the character say something cool during the super can instantly take it up several points, you know?
Yes. I mean, like Raging Demon, the Shangoku Satsu, would it be as cool if Akuma didn't say, "All right, get ready," as he's fucking approaching you violently?
Yeah, and the Ultra version in Street Fighter 4 where he die 1,000 deaths. I get
Yeah,
hyped for that every time.
yeah. Down 1,000 deaths may not be like what you call it, may not be an proper translation, but it's the best localization we could have gotten.
Oh yeah.
Although I still like 1,000 hits in a flash, which is what it should be technically. I still like that, but it isn't as cool as Die 1,000 deaths.
Yeah. Oh, Chun-Li, both Lightning Legs and Kokosho. I mean, the Lightning Legs is a classic because of the Daigo parry, but I love with Kokosho that she does that big, crazy, almost screen clear super, and then afterwards is like, oh fuck, that was tough.
Yeah, if I like the Kikosho depends on the game, because if it envelopes her, then it's cooler. But
Yeah,
if she just if she just holds out the Kikosho that doesn't go anywhere and it's like slightly bigger than most, then that stinks.
yeah. How have none of us hit the Shinshoryu yet?
I don't I, I don't like the Shinshoryu that much.
Really?
Yeah, I mean I don't care for Ryu that much. I haven't cared for Ryu for like genuinely 15 years.
I gotta admit, with him having Donkey Kick at launch, 3 supers, and Sexy Ryu as the default, I feel like I'm gonna play Street Fighter 6 Ryu quite a bit.
I mean, at launch I will probably play Ken, just because Akuma is locked behind locked behind the fucking the wall of Mu that is money, the wall of nothing.
Speaking of,
Yeah.
speaking of Ken, Shoryuepa or Shinryuken?
Hmm. If you're talking use, Shoryurepa. If you're talking looks, then Shiryuken.
Oh god, if we were just going to talk about what's the best utility super, I mean, for me, best utility super, Aegis. Aegis Reflector.
Yeah, I mean the Aegis as a utility super can't really be beat now, can it?
No, it's crazy. I mean, in terms of just other wackiness, I'm always a big fan of both of Faust's classic supers.
Yeah.
One is just putting things into the hands of God. The other one is, well, the other one kind of feels like it's just salt-inducing.
Yeah.
What's the worst super, though? And why is it Ghost Rider's Penance Stare in Infinite?
Why is it Ghost Rider getting on his bike and just rolling at you at a brisk speed?
Yeah. That one's kind of an odd one, yeah.
Like I get it, but it's lame, you know.
I remember in Marvel Heroes, Ghost Rider had a move where you would slowly drive around on the bike, but it worked because he was also spinning his chain rapidly overhead and it was just clotheslining everyone.
Yeah. That one could work, but you know, just putting on pressure and then that's it. Oh, that's cool. Nothing. Thank you. I definitely did not waste my meter. Worst super. Alright, I don't know if you want to count it as best or worst, but Ginyu's body switch.
See, that's the dirtiest one, but I'd actually put that up there as one of the best supers because that's just 100% in character.
Yeah, and the amount of salt that you can get with it.
It's so smelly though. It's such a smelly super.
It is such a smelly super. But like, you know, I will never let myself live down giving Pick actual psychic damage with that super. Like I
poor son of a bitch.
I think I raised Pink Insight by like 10 that day.
You didn't raise his insight, you just gave him frenzy.
Yeah. That.
If Pink had higher insight, that would have killed him.
Yeah. Oh shit. And then what other super can I think of that's bad? I mean, can we just say most supers that are just a slightly different property normal? Or like special? That's like a blanket statement.
Well, I mean, if we just want to call the worst trend for supers, fucking KOF. Here's a 30-hit combo of normals. There you go. There's your fucking super, asshole.
Yeah. But like I'm talking about like not even that much effort. It's just like, all right, so you know how you can kick. You know how you have this special where you kick. All right, now the kick does 50% damage. Why? Fuck you.
And I can't say I recall. I can't say I recall any honest efforts at doing that other than joke supers, where it's like, what was it? Wasn't there a game? Wasn't there a KOF game where there was a Muay Thai character who could do a super low kick, and it just did a shitload of damage, but it was just a low kick?
Yeah, the Joe had a move like that, but it was called something like the most unexpected move or something like that. So like that's better. That's fucking that's super taunt levels of bullshittery. Like I'll let that fly. But when it's just honest to God, all right, I'm gonna unleash my super move. My super move is a normal move that just does slightly more damage than when I do it normally. Like that's, and I feel like there's a Blaze Blue game or something like that. Like there's an anime game that did that with a couple of characters, and I fucking hate it. But I can't recall which one.
I can't say I recall it either, though that does sound like a kind of a Blaze Blue thing to do. Yeah.
Speaking of Blaze Blue, though, that it's not official, but there was the EX patch for a while that gave the characters wilder movesets, and they did the Joe super where it hits low, but they gave it to a character that has a high kick super, or a super that starts off with a high kick. So they made the animation be that the high kick it's a slow high kick that transitions into an instant low hit, and
Yeah.
that's evil, but I love it.
It does sound interesting. Yes.
But yeah. Hmm. How did we talk about the best supers and we didn't talk about the Kongo Kokuretsu-san?
Oh, because I forget what it. What is the Kongo Karetsu-san?
The Kongo Kokuretsu-san is Akuma's Earthquake super. It's his
Oh yes,
it's his Raging Storm pretty much.
yes. That is sad that I forgot that. Yeah.
Like Akuma doesn't get his supers all that much, but like all except one of them are winners. Cause like you have the Raging Demon, you have the Kongo Kokuretsu-san, you have his like Falling Strike super from CVS2. You know, the one where he teleports above you or whatever he does.
I actually do not remember that at all.
He has a super where he like jumps up into the air or something. I forget the exact super, but the hit is that he falls on you doing the downward strike that I always miss from him having out of a fucking demon flip after Tekken.
I was about to say, doesn't he only ever have that in Tekken?
No, that was a super in CVS too.
Ah, okay.
That's where they got it from, I guess. But yeah, he has that. Uh, I think that's all of his unique supers. And there's also Demon Armageddon, but Demon Armageddon was stinky. I mean, it wasn't even that bad. It was just boring, and like all the other Akuma supers are either great or stuff that the other Shotos did before. So they're just showing off. Yes, Akuma can do this too. Like his moveset in Alpha is dumb because it's like, all right, so Ryu can do the Shin Hadouken or Denjin Hadouken. I forget which one. Ken can do the Shoryu Reppa. Akuman can do the Shin Hadouken, the Shoryu Reppa, the fucking like a Tatsumaki Super. I forget if I remember correctly, or maybe that was third strike only that he had one of those. He can do the Raging Demon and also like four other dumb bullshit moves because he's Akuma. Fuck you. But yeah, I'm trying to think of any. Oh, Bet Supers, the Spider Kid from Uni.
Oh, he did have something bad. I don't remember what it was though.
It transitions into a cutscene pretty much that they animated with cardboard cutouts. And it's like three or four different frames of him walking towards your character who is stuck in a web, and then the cardboard cutout grows the spider legs out from behind him, and then they come down on you, but they don't really change animation if memory serves. Like they change frame. They change between two frames, I think. They come down on you, and then they got away to your character screaming.
Well,
But
that's creative at least.
I mean, I guess, but the rest of the supers are generally actually animated, and his is not. Like even in that game.
I can see where that could be a problem. Yeah.
It's a thing of like the other supers, the animation part doesn't take as long as these guys, so you can figure out what happened. At the same time, it still creates a disconnect where most of the other characters, if they have an animation part to their super, the animation is fluid, and here it's just all right, still frame, floating from left side, still frame, floating from right side, still frame, floating from under. All right, four other pictures floating from behind him. All right, change pictures. And like if the super just did if the super didn't lend itself with the other characters, if the super didn't lend itself to animated stuff, if memory serves, they just didn't I add them. So you know.
I am amazed by how little I remember of Unity.
Uh and then I believe that's all the topics I've found in the past 2 weeks that we could really talk about. There was a did you see this? Hopefully this works. That's the only other fighting game related stuff that I found in the past 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, in that case, we want to move forward to discussing
Yeah.
2022.
Yeah. I'm trying to get a list of every fighting game that came out.
Well, it has been kind of a slow year. And the Game Awards fighting game category was certainly interesting as a result.
IS Best Fighting Games 2022, Shifu.
Yeah.
No, I'm not commenting on the Game Awards stuff. I just saw the fucking like while I'm searching up the list of fighting games that came out this year. The recommended search was that. So yeah, Shifu. Anyway.
Sifu, I haven't played it. It's also not a fighting game.
Are you sure though? Are you sure?
So, out of the big releases, it's been Multiverses, KOF 15. Strive was last year, wasn't it?
Yes, I like how. Okay, I just want to read out this list. Well, the first three parts of this list that I found. Fighting games, mind you. King of Fighters 15. All right, makes sense. Phantom Breaker Omnia makes sense. WWE 2K22. Are you sure?
Yeah. Well, 2K22 is a lot more fighting game themed than past wrestling games.
Yeah, that is true. All right. Also, Persona Ultimax. Big Bang Pro Wrestling by SNK.
That came out?
Allegedly in March.
I have no memory of that.
It's for the Switch.
Oh, okay, that explains it.
Studio S Fighters Climax Champions. Why do I feel like this is a fucking doujinshi game? It probably is.
It sounds like porn.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Yes.
I don't know what that fucking means. Fucking thing.
Ah, yes. My favorite new fighting game of the year. The King of Fighters 98 Ultimate Match Final Edition. Fight of Steel, Infinity Warrior, whatever that is.
Sounds like a bunch of bullshit.
Lego Brawls. I don't think
I
that released.
forgot that was a thing too.
Did that release?
I believe so. Yes.
All right. Mega Man Battle and Fighters. Which if that's a compilation of the arcade fighting game sort of thing that they had, it was a boss rush. There was a Mega Man boss rush arcade game that I played growing up, and that was fun. But so if it's that, then I'm gonna be sad. Ah yes, my favorite new fighting game, Schoolgirl Stuck on Encore.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, yeah, fighting games that released this year.
That was certainly a list.
Yeah, I didn't read all of them, but
2022 has very much in fighting games been the year of waiting until everybody releases their things.
2022 has been a year of waiting for Namco and Capcom.
And NetherRealm.
Yeah, and
Holy shit. It's
yeah.
It's definitely, I mean, there's been 15, and 15's had a few DLCs, and who else has carried their DLC through this year? There was some Dragon Ball DLC,
right.
wasn't there?
But if you're talking DLC, then Strive had DLC, DBZ had DLC, Schoolgirls obviously, Multi-Blood Type Lumina, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, Brawlhalla, Virtua Fighter 5 apparently, Them's Fighting Herds, Kimetsu no Yaiba.
Pink?
Hello.
Hi.
Are you ready for
what the fuck
fighting
are you
games?
doing here?
Fighting games are. That is for certain.
That they are. That they are.
So
what
Pink,
the fuck are you doing here?
No, you over here, so I figured I'd hop in.
all right,
Oh.
cool. Well, Pink, what are your opinions on Ginyu's Body Switch Super?
I hate it. It gave me PTSD. I speak to my therapist on the monthly, sometimes weekly, just about that. You scarred me for life.
Nice.
That was a sigh of pride right there. I do good work.
on the fucking bottom right hand screen just says Renegade score up by 12.
Yeah.
Of all the recordings we've lost over the years, that one was probably the one that hit me the most.
Yeah, and not only that,
such a fantastic finale.
not only that, we lost it 3 times. It happened 3 times, and we lost it all 3 times. It was the 4th one that actually got some parts of it recorded.
Yep.
That one's pretty brutal, but for me, Skate 3 has always been one, because I feel like that was the first time. I feel like that was the first time we actually talked and had a good time recording, and it wasn't just Siege where it's us quiet and going, oh, there's somebody on the hallway.
Right. Skate was so much fun, and then we couldn't even get the servers to work afterward.
Yeah.
Somehow. Yeah. So that was a massive bummer.
Yeah, and then the one I mourn the most, the one I think about at least the most, is Red Dead 2, because nothing happened in that session, but the 3 moments that did. The 3 moments that did were so good that I wish it didn't get corrupted.
Yeah, I'd forgotten that we didn't get the Red Dead saved properly.
Red Dead Online, the moment the lasso comes in, it's like, okay, this is terrible for online multiplayer with public people. However, for private multiplayer servers, this is amazing.
But if you remember, with your friends, it's God's gift to mankind.
If you remember that there was no private ways to play back then, Red Dead Online. So
there still isn't.
I don't think there's a private way now.
But there's not gonna be a private way to play because they're shutting it down, I think. But yeah.
I don't think they're shutting it down, but they are cutting support, it is supposed.
Yeah. So anyway,
I mean, you can play Red Dead 1's multiplayer still. And that's fun.
But yeah, so Pink, as you joined, we've been discussing the releases of this year for fighting games. as a wrap up to the year.
Ah, so games that came out this year?
Yes.
Ah, which ones were they?
Heavy hitters like Big Bang Pro Wrestling
How have I not heard of that till now?
and Studio S Fighters Climax Champions
That sounds dirty.
and DNF Duel.
Yep. That just sounds like an STD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
You know, I've only seen a little bit of King of the Hill, but I love there was one scene where Peggy was the one standing around instead of Hank, standing around with the friends, and it goes from Boomhauer to Dale to Bill, and they all go, yep, yep, yep. And it gets to Peggy, and she goes, hoo yeah.
So
I
yeah.
don't get why everyone hates Peggy. I like Peggy a lot. She's great.
Peggy gets worse with the later seasons. She's
I could kind of believe.
I don't get why people hate hate her as much as they do either, but she does get worse with the later seasons.
I can believe that, yeah.
But yeah, so fighting games. Yes.
See, we need to be worried. Now that Pink's here, this is going to morph into a Shut Your Mouth Lounge, which is 3 times the length and half the content of an FGA.
Oh no.
Well, for
keep it on topic.
Minus 1 million views.
minus 5 stars. Badass.
Minus 5 stars.
You got reverse melted.
Okay, I have to stop myself from going on a wrestling tangent there. Somebody, okay,
right.
fighting games in
Fighting
fucking
games.
2022.
So,
yeah, absolutely.
let's
The
talk
year
about-
of waiting.
Yeah, let's talk about the great hit Phantom Breaker Omnia.
Let's
But
not.
Multiverses, though, it won Game of the Year in the fighting category.
It absolutely did, and I've been
Because
of the
there was
opinion that it's
nothing
a fight-
else.
I'm
That was-
absolutely of the opinion that it's a fighting game. Dead silence because nobody wants to open that can of worms. Fair enough.
I didn't play enough to have any real opinions on it.
It's.
I mean,
the thing. Here's the thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
We there are only 4 relevant fighting games that came out this year. DNF Duel, JoJo All-Star Battle Royale, or whatever it's called, Multiverses, and KOF 15. I have played like fucking an hour of JoJo's with Addy, and it was fun, but it was also a little bit jank and stinky because it's from the Naruto dudes. And I have played Multiverses a shit ton. And the thing is, I am going to be getting KOF 15 for Christmas. I already know this ahead of time because I saw it was up for $15 on sale on some website, so I went ahead and sent that shit to my parents. But this is the last FGA of 2022. So it'll be FGA, the first FGA of 2023 will be, we want to come in and it'll be like, yo, KOF 15, it's hot. So really, all I can hit, I don't think I had enough time with JoJo's to speak on it definitively. DNF Duel I didn't even touch, and I have no intention of touching it. Yes, I'm aware that there are people who really enjoy it because it's broken and jank as hell, but I mean, I'm not a DNF fan. Is that what it is?
No, in theory, you should like. In theory, people should like DNF because or if they like Kusoge, and they should like it because they like Kusoge, disregarding the fact that Kusoge generally aren't this fucking dumb. like, say what you want about like fucking Basara Cross, and say what you want about Hokuto no Ken. Hokuto no Ken probably requires more effort with the inputs. Basara Cross came later, so it requires less than Hokuto no Ken, I think. But still, Basara Cross has a control scheme that's like that's like Persona Arena Ultimax. So there's still stuff you can do. That's not just auto combos upon auto combos upon auto combos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And DNF Duel tried to be accessible while also being a Kusoge. And the problem with that is that it meant that the game was solved in like half a day. So like,
Oh,
you do this one very fucking broken string, or you die, and that just makes the game not fun.
I would imagine so. Yes.
And like the string isn't hard to pull off. You just need to know that you need to hit that string, because accessibility.
Yeah.
And that's the difference to me between a Kusoge that I like and a Kusoge that I don't. Is that like, yeah, Basara Cross and Hokuto no Ken have infinites, a lot of them, and it has the dribble combos and stuff like that. I can do that shit. I can enjoy the game normally, as it was intended originally, because I don't know how to do that shit, and I don't have the execution required to do that, and I'm fine with that. But when you remove the execution barrier from that, then it's just like, oh, then it's just a free for all of, all right, who gets to do the one touch first, and then the Kusoge loses the fun.
Well, how much movement is there in DNF Duel?
Less than you'd expect, from what I hear. It's like surprisingly grounded.
Because at the competitive level, what makes Marvel vs. Capcom interesting, Marvel vs. Capcom is Touch of Death too, but at the high level, Marvel vs. Capcom is interesting to watch because the movement with the air dashing and shit is so crazy that players are really good at avoiding getting hit,
Yeah.
But in a game with bad movement capabilities, everyone having one-hit kills is, oof.
Yeah, that's basically why DNF Duel has, like, I want to say 600 people playing it consistently.
Well, is DNF not just a Korean mobile game?
It's a Korean MMO.
Oh, good.
So yeah, like the IP doesn't have a lot of hold in the West, but you'd expect that the Asian countries would pick it up more since they're more exposed to it. No, that doesn't seem like it.
How could this happen?
Yeah. Then KOF 15 is still suffering from netcode stuff, so people are not playing that much either, because they, like, despite the producer coming out and saying we don't know how to fix the netcode, people would still like the netcode to be fixed.
Well, I mean, the netcode wasn't that fucking bad in 14, was it?
Oh, no, it's not the netcode. It's the matchmaking, and I'm wrong, but still.
Oh, the matchmaking.
Yeah, like the matchmaking doesn't work for half of the people who the matchmaking doesn't work for half of the install base, regardless of what they're on.
Well, that does sound like an issue. Yes.
Yeah, and that is pretty much it. Like, people are telling other people not to buy QF 15 because they can't matchmake.
I mean, for one thing, there's offline players. For another thing, there's people who just play with friends. Us.
Yeah.
But online is all that matters nowadays, isn't it?
Yeah. Either which way, yeah, this has not been a big year for fighting games, especially traditional fighting games. Because for all intents and purposes, it's only 2 new traditional fighting games, one of which is a B game, the other which is a C or D game. Because Multiverses is a platform fighter, not a traditional fighter, and JoJo's is a re-release.
Unbelievable. Street Fighter 6 come out next year?
Yeah.
Yes, it does. June 2nd.
Ah.
I mean, there was in other miscellaneous fighting game releases, there was Giga Bash. It's
What'd you call me?
The King of Ass.
Yeah. There was Giga Bash.
Thank you.
It's it had
I'm flattered by the title, but I feel like Pink fits more. I'm a mere initiate.
It's not about the size, it's how you use it. But yeah, Gigabash, it's a monster fighting game for a. I'm gonna be real. I thought this was Override for a second, and I was like, I can actually talk about this. Then I fucking recognized it's not Override, so I can't talk about this. But it's under Override like it's a kaiju fighter.
Oh,
Pretty
cool.
Like
much.
Godzilla?
Yeah.
Oh. Sounds intriguing.
So yeah, it could be fine, it could be not. I don't know. Didn't play it. Rumblefish 2 got released. It sucks. The release, not the game. The game also sucks from what I understand, but still.
Just have no opinions on any of the things you just said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit. It is the game. So Mega Man Battle & Fighters released. It's not a fighting game. It's a boss rush game. They were boss rush arcade games that were released in Japan. Those games were good. They're not fighting games.
No, they don't sound like fighting games.
Sounds like Mega Man, and I don't like Mega Man. He owes me $12. Hate that guy.
He stole my wallet. It made his armor turn fucking brown.
What does that even mean?
Yeah, the wallet was your source of power.
Ah. All right. I think really we've just not got a whole lot to talk about. It has just been an underwhelming couple of weeks at the end of what has been kind of an underwhelming year for fighting games outside of how awesome the Street Fighter 6 news has been.
I mean, there is one thing that we didn't hit that came out this year.
What is that?
The Darkstalkers collection.
Oh, you are right. That is true. That was actually... Well, I can't speak much for 15, but as traditional fighters go, that's probably the best part of 2022. Yeah, honestly. To see the bringing back of a franchise that, well, it's not really bringing back the franchise, but to see games that seemed like they were utterly dead and completely forgotten, not be dead and forgotten.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
that was excellent. I mean, that wasn't just Darkstalkers. I mean, I don't think I was at all, I'm not an expert on these things, but I wasn't at all expecting to see a Cyberbots or Red Earth port either, you know?
Yeah. I'm still waiting for the 3D collection so I can play fucking Star Gladiator again. It's not happening, but I can hope. I'll will it into existence.
You can hope. You can hope in one hand, shit in the other, as they say.
What? They say that?
You never heard that?
No.
That's a very common saying.
I don't believe I've ever heard it.
Oh, my sweet summer child.
But yeah. I believe that's it then. We could probably call it a podcast, because I guess I'll check the news like I usually do, but I don't expect anything to have come out in the past hour.
Probably not.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
Capcom CEO announces releases every single fighting game they ever made, starting with Street Fighter 1. Again.
Capcom announces Street Fighter 1, but good this time.
Now, don't expect the impossible.
You're not wrong.
No new news. So, I guess fighting games were then.
Yeah, fighting games were. All right then.
Do you want to give your first fighting games were?
Fighting games were.